He will, Representative Daley will get absolutely no support. I mean, I can hear the halls glancing right now, having been there myself, on other people that have run for his seat in that district, having gone to Lansing on water control issues, on ammonium nitrate levels in the aquifer, all kinds of things that we've gone to Lansing over. I understand the political landscape that he's looking at there, going forth with something like this, they would think he's absolutely out of his mind. I can understand that.
I can hear that.
So for him personal, the personal struggle for him is, how do I do this? How do I represent my constituents? How am I going to get anybody to go along with me if I look like an absolute? Walt saying, we don't care that he looks like an absolute loon.
They thought our forefathers were nuts, didn't they?
Right. The reality of the situation is, we are amenable to any way possible, from a business perspective, from a grassroots perspective, to support him to try to do this. Whatever he needs. If he needs rallies, if he needs public support, if he needs to garner something,
I'll be there in a heartbeat.
Then he can contact me, and I'm real good at a grassroots thing. I mean, I can get 8,000 people together for him if that's what he needs to show that there's a groundswell. He's going to need something, because he's not going to be able to do it as a freshman.
We understand what he's. I want you to understand that I understand the climate in Lansing and the sycophantic attitudes that most of them have. The butt kissers that are there, that are on the public tit to Washington, wanting those Obama bucks.
We
understand that, man. We understand it, but the point is, he's responsible to do what's right. If he knows what we're talking about is the right thing to do, and it is, you can't just sit and do nothing.
Right. You can't ignore
it.
When good men sit and do nothing, then evil will flourish, right? Isn't that what's happening?
If nothing else, if we can keep a discourse going with a line of communication.
Communicate with us.
What's going, and this is one way to do it. There are more than the people in this room, and I can attest to
There's a whole bunch more, man. You don't realize how many people are out there.
In my impromptu conversation I have with people, there are literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people countywide that want to do something. They're afraid. They're afraid. They're not like Walt. They don't have his knowledge of the subject, but they know in their heart something's wrong. They don't have his vocabulary on the subject. They don't have the business aptitude that I have, but they know that there's something wrong. And almost to the person, when I tell them, you know, would you support a secession from the United States? Would you support it? Well, tell me how it would work, and if it means getting away from the federal government, I'd be in favor of it. They just don't know the nuts and bolts of it.
And that's what you're trying to. That's your job, your guys' job. Explain that.
And the historical perspective, that Walt has, is taken him a lifetime. It's taken him a lifetime of knowledge to get to the point where he's so well versed in it. For the average person that goes to work every day, punches
they
the
don't
clock,
have the slightest idea.
They don't have a clue.
Well, you got to have a photostatic memory too.
Yeah.
Like him.
Yeah. And it's not just that they don't have a clue, they don't know that they don't know. You can't, for Representative Daley to try to talk to people that don't know that they don't know, there's nowhere to start from.
It was only 3% Let me explain something real quick. Only 3% of the population 230 some years ago formed this country. It did something. 3% is small. It don't take a huge number of people. This idea we got to have massive numbers of people to affect change, that's a false premise. Well, okay, then what's the point is it don't take a lot.
If he would need any
here, let me get your information.
If he would need anything from me in his district, from a fundraising aspect, from a grassroots aspect, from a speech, if he wanted to set up another meeting,
I'll speak for him. I'll help him. I don't care.
Have him contact me, and we will help him or offer my services in any way possible, understanding that he's still trying to. It takes 3 years just to know where all the streets and restaurants are.
And then by that time you're almost.
So I understand it. It's a monumental
vicious
task.
circle.
I understand that. Personally, he's going. I'm just trying to figure out where the hallways go. So,
and he's here to help any of you guys as much as he can. I'm sure.
And I want you to understand, I'm not here trying to attack him or attack you or anybody here. I'm trying to educate you. I spent over $150,000 out of my own pocket. A factory rat, okay? And 5 kids, okay? And the point is, I've taken everything I could possibly do. Okay, I've been to Washington D.C. I know the apathy. I know the locked-in evil attitude that most of them suckers have there. I've been there, done that. I had Bloomfield's legislative assistant lie to me to my face and had an engineer, Denny Hazen. Remember him?
Yeah.
Denny Hazen sat right next to me in a chair in Representative Broomfield's office. His legislative assistant was with him for 22 years, lied to me and said he didn't know what the Trilateral Commission was or Council on Foreign Relations, which has been in place since 1921. Every president since Woodrow Wilson's belonged to it. Every one of them. Okay? The point is, he lied. I got a letter at home from William Broomfield admitting his knowledge of both organizations, admitted many prominent people in Congress belonged to it. Okay? Admitted it. I was lied to. I drove 500 miles. Had to drive straight back because I didn't have enough money for a hotel room. Drove all the way there and all the way back in one day and gave up $1,000 of overtime money. It's part of what I've given up. Okay? Trying to get them to do something about it. They're not going to listen. They're not going to listen.
I have a suggestion that might help Mr. Daley. If he could, and I don't know how he would broach this, but if he could like kind of sort of stick his toe in the water in Lansing, maybe he's made some personal contacts. Maybe he has some other representatives that he has, you know, some kind of relationship with. If he could just kind of test the water, find out,
Just kind of throw the idea
find
out
out
there.
what he's getting from other districts. Because obviously you have to have the numbers to make it work. So, if he could do that and maybe let us know if there's any kind of political will
what
at
the
all.
districts stand.
Yeah, because
Okay. Just
I'm
let you
interested-
know, if anybody wants to talk to him,
I'm interested in pursuing this as a businessman
Is there anybody out there now?
and getting
I
it
went
going.
and because we were here first. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Hey,
interrupt.
that's fine.
Because we were here first, there's other people sitting there waiting to talk on him.
Okay.
But if you're wanting to talk to him,
I've got to go. I'm sorry.
Excuse me, are you the mayor, aren't you?
No,
What? You're not?
I'm just a private citizen.
Okay. All right.
I've got to run.
I thought you look like him. That's
But
why I asked.
because there's other people sitting at the desk
I
that just came in
understand.
after us, you can just go and get
Yeah,
you're ahead of them.
I've got a contract that I have to. that I have to uphold.
Well,
Thank you
for coming.
Yeah, your name was
I'm AJ.
AJ. You don't have a card.
So I got my 10 minutes with him.
Yeah.
Well, he's got all those people waiting to talk to him personally.
Okay, I want you to understand that it's not about the average guy.
Well, here's what I did, Walt. The last thing I said to Kevin was, I says, you come across real strong in what you say, but I told him you need to take this seriously.
I don't think
You do come across real strong,
The
and
only reason I
you're
do
loud.
that way is because the
I lost 30% hearing in this ear and 20 in this ear from working in the factory.
But the ordinary
being
person,
a constitutional
citizen
scholar.
in this state,
Um,
is thinking along the lines you're thinking. They're not as active as you are.
That's my job.
I know.
My job is to find out what's going on and try to communicate
The
it.
problem with
I
the
told him, I
leaders
said,
is
you
it
need to
automatically
really
it's
take
divisive.
a lot of
We
what he
don't
says
listen to
serious.
ideas, we don't listen to philosophy, we don't listen to anything. All we do is
See, the bottom line, I emphasize again, I love this country with all my heart, and no better place to live than here. We need to get our freedoms back again. It's being taken away from us. That guy that's the chief of staff of the White House wants to take our Second Amendment rights completely away from us.
Right. But,
Okay.
you know, if
And we
let's
can't
hope
let
it
that
doesn't
happen.
come down to succeeding from the...
It's going to have to. Because listen, number one, the people running Washington are complete slaves, okay, to that guy sitting in Rome. You understand?
Yeah.
If you don't believe me, I'll show you all the color photos and proof of it.
This filming you're taking, that's for personal use?
Maybe.
Okay, well...
Might be going on YouTube too. Why not? Nothing to hide, right? The truth.
Don't you think you need to get signatures for that to happen?
I don't hear anybody complaining.
Yeah, well,
Other than maybe you, or if you're
well, I
afraid.
haven't said anything with...
I haven't said anything that's wrong, and you haven't either. So you got nothing to hide. See, that's why I don't believe in secret
I'm
oaths
just,
and
just worried. That's
secrecy. I am too. See, I want you to understand. I'm very concerned. If I'm loud and assertive, it's for a reason. Because I've studied it long enough, I'm aware of enough of it already, and know what they're pushing us toward. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit idly by and let them do it without saying something about it.
I don't believe in the violence in it. But
I don't
believe
either.
in
I don't either.
Yeah.
I want peace.
Yes.
And the only way it's going to be done is through legislation, you know?
Okay.